This rollout of this crazy scenario where it is intended that there will be a limited nuclear exchange in the Middle East, the idea is that as the world looks upon this with horror, then they will demand from their governments that there are heavy controls over travel, over communication, over people who meet, over people who protest in the streets. They want to make sure that they don't have crazy bombers on aeroplanes, crazy bombers in the shopping malls. They want to make sure, and because people will be driven into fear by this, they'll request and demand and insist on heavy controls from their governments, which will be justified. And this is where you're going to kind of get the martial law situation in all the Western countries. It's intended as a justification. All of this is just the start of something, because this story gets much bigger, and it's pretty horrifying. And if watching this now you're feeling a little bit shocked, this is how I was feeling when I heard this information, and this is how our source was feeling when he was hearing this information in this meeting, because this is just the beginning. Now, during the time of this ceasefire, everyone's shocked, everyone's frightened, everyone's really terrified about where this is going to go. There are all kinds of heavy controls over populations everywhere. And then the next thing that happens in this chess game that's being played is that biological weapons are released on China. He heard this being discussed in this meeting. They will release a flu-like virus that will be genetically targeted against the Chinese population. It's racially targeted against the Chinese people. It's designed to spread like wildfire and to knock out a large number of the Chinese people. And these people in this meeting were laughing about this. They said, China will catch a cold. Those were their words. China will catch a cold. And they were laughing about the fact that these biological weapons will
En estos tiempos, Rusia y Ucrania están en conflicto por causa del territorio. Pero ¿por qué sucede esto? Para eso debemos que ver y remontar a la historia. Hace 60 años, principios de la Guerra Fría, en 1949, con la firma del Tratado de Washington por parte de Estados Unidos, Canadá y 10 países europeos, surgió la Organización del Tratado del Atlántico Norte, conocido como la OTAN. Pero ¿qué tienen en disputa Rusia y la OTAN con Ucrania? Este tratado se dirige para el este de Europa, las asociaciones para la paz, para ser miembros, son estos países, incluyendo Ucrania, algo que no está de acuerdo Rusia, por la cual el presidente Putin quiere recuperar el territorio a cualquier costo. Aquí es donde entra China, que ya se manifestó apoyando a Rusia. Aquí la predicción de Bill Ryan toma mucha fuerza.
And after that, then what effectively will be a kind of plague will actually spread right across the world to the West as well. Our source was not clear whether this was a Chinese retaliation or whether the thing would just spread out of control in the way that it would be very understandable if it did, whether it's racially targeted or not. These things actually mutate. So now you've got a situation where there's been a limited nuclear war in the Middle East. There's a pandemic that really is sweeping across the world and really is killing people very visibly. And you've got this totalitarian military lockdown in all the governments in the Western world because everyone's going to be in panic about all of this. And then, he said, then the real war starts, something that would be justifiably called the Third World War, with a much more major nuclear exchange. And at this point, I asked him, is this just about population reduction? What is this about? Why are they doing this? Why this insane Dr. Strangelove plan for just unleashing all of this stuff on the world? Why do it? Now, as our conversation went on, I started to find answers to those questions. Now, some of this is speculation. I want to share this speculation with you because it's important enough that we work together here to figure out what's going on. And there are some clues, there's some very important clues that I'm going to present to you here in this video. He said, absolutely, it's about population reduction. So I said, well, in this meeting, did they mention any figures? And he said, yes, they did, 50%. Half the world's population. This is planned as per the Georgia Guidestones.
Pero aquí sale un cuarto elemento y se encuentra en Medio Oriente, el país de Afganistán. Que recordemos que el ejército de Estados Unidos tuvo que salir del país. Que aquí te dejo la tarjeta para que veas el video que ya hicimos de ese tema. Ese país podría ser pieza clave para desatar este conflicto que está sucediendo, tal como Albert Pike lo predijo. Todas las piezas del ajedrez se están ejecutando, ya que ninguno de este conflicto quiere ceder.
Tras la orden del presidente ruso Vladimir Putin de reconocer las regiones separatistas prorrusas de Donetsk y Lugansk en el este de Ucrania, las esperanzas alrededor del mundo que quedaban de evitar un gran conflicto en Europa y por lo tanto las problemáticas que surgirían de ello parecieron desvanecer. Anteriormente, el presidente de Estados Unidos, Joe Biden, sancionó a los territorios separatistas y el día de hoy, Washington, en conjunto con Alemania y Francia, anunciará nuevos castigos económicos sobre Rusia. En el sitio de Opinion Box, muchas son las preguntas sobre si los despliegues de tropas rusas al este de Ucrania son parte de la invasión que el mundo ha estado esperando, y mientras algunos analistas señalan que no se trataría de una invasión, otros alertan sobre que las vías diplomáticas para salir de este conflicto se están cerrando rápidamente, y los expertos dicen que Putin parece estar construyendo un pretexto para llevar a cabo un ataque más fuerte contra Ucrania, llegando posiblemente al extremo de amenazar la capital de Kiev, lo que costaría decenas de miles de vidas y una crisis masiva de refugiados.
Esto me lleva a pensar que esta es una estrategia que ya estaban planeado para que la Agenda 30 y las tablas de Georgia se cumplan para el fin de reducir a la población y los que sobrevivan controlarnos y al fin tener su nuevo orden mundial. Pero ¿ustedes qué creen? Los leo en los comentarios. Hasta aquí con el video de hoy. Sin antes pedirte que si te gustó el video, denle un like, compartan y suscríbanse, ya que estaremos hablando de estos temas y recuerden, la verdad nos hará libres.